Oh, this is something different. Good. So I'm going to share something. My phone has been on fire this morning, and I don't know how I can turn it off other than pay attention every once in a while. But let me give you guys some vision. Stick with me so you understand what I'm about to share with you, because it's extremely important in my opinion, and I think it's going to add value before you head off into the weekend. And then please go ahead and prepare to share some wins so that we can make sure that this call is smooth. So I'm counting on you to help me be successful while our leadership is here. I'm counting on some of my other business partners from the West and the East or other leaders. Everybody's a leader here. But when I was resharing this presentation to somebody, what we realized was that I started to understand what was happening. This is a presentation that might be almost a year old, but some of it is being fulfilled as we speak. So what that means is that in the dreams of what you're trying to accomplish, there was a gentleman by the name of Gabe Gonzalez that had a dream and vision that if he connected to this platform, that he would position the idea that people should be educated about their retirement. So he's decided to create a label or a group of individuals. So when we used to share this, we would say, hey, this is the dedicated information as to why we are leveraging the education retirement group. Supreme Team also had a vision that they could leverage this information. Do you know why it got fulfilled? I just got off the phone with Miss Tammy. She had her ERG blue white thing going on in the background. I had an ERG. We're talking to a staff member. I'm in New Jersey. This staff member is in actual Atlanta. Miss Tammy's in Atlanta. She meets this teacher via email coordination or directly at a school. I don't remember, Miss Tammy, you'll correct me. But we just did a full version of an FNA
Email
with her.
coordination.
Email coordination. Thank you, Miss Tammy. I appreciate that. But what that means was that I was part of a vision of being fulfilled that one day Hans Augustine could potentially be graced by Miss Tammy to give me permission to work with her to help service the teacher that has questions about her finances with an opportunity for us to possibly help her with protection and help her grow her money better. But 24 months ago, Miss Tammy, the information that I just shared with you, you tell me how good or bad I did it. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't. I knew information, I knew finances, I knew real estate, but the culmination of your dreams and vision become fulfilled if you put the work to it. And so what really happened with the education and retirement program was they used to say, or we still say, that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change your world and my world. Meaning that the reason why you want to understand that the reason why I referenced Joseph was that Joseph had a dream and a vision of something to be fulfilled because it was given to him that way. It was given to him. So I had a dream to build agency and to develop and work with people. Thank God Mr. Ridley gives me the grace to allow me to work with him to help him grow his business in the state of New Jersey. Thank God Kim Howard was okay with inviting me to come to California. I owe you, sister, I'm coming. So, but I was gracefully welcome and excited about it, but that was through the vision of that what she was interested in doing at that financial seminar was educating people. And she understood that if she could educate them, yes, she will earn income, but they will become more powerful individuals. And if you begin to understand the dream and vision, it was like, hey, when we presented, we said, hey, the reason why you're going to connect with our company is because we're going to be credible and we're going to be authentic. This is not Hans going to be here just gone here today, but gone tomorrow. The company has stood 8 years of the ability to wait for you to arrive. And they said, I'm going to fill a need in the marketplace. We're going to use the same products and services, life insurance. We're going to make sure people can get compensated, and we're going to do it in the timing. See, this morning when I was talking to the organization that is interested in praying, which is nothing wrong if you don't, but those that were praying said, hey, they learned this morning that over a potential 7-year outlook of what was going to come, there were challenges that were going to come, but during the 7 years of greatness and opportunity that can be developed, there's a timing for everything for you to leverage your talent. But one of the reasons why I wanted to share it was because here's where I want you guys to remember what you're participating. Things to come. In 2018, this company only existed in the state of Texas. That was it. Most of everybody that you knew was in the state of Texas. Nothing wrong with Texas; it's a growing state, but the most of the business was built in the state of Texas. Now, let me tell you why you have to have vision, dreams, and purposes. So this morning you're going to walk away. I got a dream, I got a vision, and you don't want anybody to steal it. I was talking to Mr. Ridley. I said, I get it. I've been in your spot before. I understand the circumstances. But there's a dream and vision that you're going to fulfill for the lifestyle choices that you really want to be able to make based on your capability of building something. People said I was going to, the People company said in 2018, they launched. And then 6 years later, in 2024, they had access to almost 80% of the schools in district. See, if I was in Texas, I'd run wild. Not because of anything else, that there's a potential that 80% of the schools in that immediate area, you have an opportunity to work it. Doesn't guarantee you nothing except for that if you do the work. There's a labor of love that says, but here's what's beautiful about this. It said in 2022, the reason why Miss Howard, Marlena, and Mikhail Mecki and all those folks exist, Akil Rashid, is because somebody said that I was going to do the work for a 6-year period to open the territory of Texas with the possibility to launch it during the 2022 period. There was work that needed to be done for a period of time so that those who work in that space may have access to well over 320,000 plus educators. Does it guarantee Kim Howard anything? Absolutely not. But what it did do, though, it gave her the foundation for her to be able to say, hey, Miss Marlena, here's our vision and dreams. I'm going to be able to fulfill it by the idea that if you work with me and we talk with these educators and we learn how to leverage the system here, we can go do financial events because we now know how it works. We know how to talk to people. We know how to have the conversations, and we close enough business to fund our visions and dreams so that we can hit the milestones. You know what's beautiful about this presentation? I wasn't here in 2024. But 6 years ago, 2018, 8 years ago, 2018, says, hey, Hans, I'm going to make room for you. I'm going to open up the state of Texas. I'm going to work the state of California so that when you arrive in 2024, guess what? We're going to go launching nationwide. Whoop, New Jersey gets a chance to be open because this program says, I don't want just Texas. I don't want just California. I want the whole kit and caboodle. Do you know why I have the ability to go to Washington this weekend? It's because they wanted the whole nationwide program. Sean Hoyer's in Pennsylvania. He's also in the district area. Hey, Mr. Ridley's in Texas. Mr. Taylor's in Tennessee. It's a nationwide thing that we're working on. But somebody had a dream and vision to open up a group of businesses. Now we got a Miss Coney in Georgia. We got a Miss Tammy in Georgia. Nationwide, guys. If you understand the dream and vision, there was people that built it. Before Hans Augustine existed, there was a Sunni Samad who had a dream and vision that one day he was waiting for David Upton to show up in California. He was waiting for a Tammy to show up. He was waiting for a Brittany to show up in California. But he says, I got to do the work. I didn't know how it works. He said, I'm going to build a business partnership with Brian Swisher. He brought Brian Swisher on. Brian Swisher catches the vision. He opens North Carolina. Right? He starts doing some teacher work. Then he says, hey, I got a dream and vision that I can do this in a way where I can leverage small business. You know what's beautiful about it, guys? Give me a few more minutes mentally. Stay with me. Don't go too far. Write notes, write information, educate yourself, leverage. What was beautiful about the small business program is he called me today. Hey, I'd like to work with David Upton. We didn't have the full conversation. I said, David, run with it. This guy knows what he's doing in the small business. But guess what? Because Brian Swisher had a dream and a vision, now David Upton gets a chance to work within the environment to grow his practice potentially in a small business, but he doesn't have to figure it out because he filled the vision. Hey, there's a reason why Mikhail Mecki existed. Maybe not present at the particular moment, but he's still in it. But whatever he launched in the vision of the ability, do you know why Princess Map is here? Mikhail Mecki reached out somehow. You guys tell me the story better. but that was her friend. That was her family member. Because Princess Map existed, now Howard gets a chance to show up. Now Marlena gets to show up. Dreams and vision. But the way you stick out to the dream and vision, you got to finish the game. The game got built on the idea that if we could teach people about their pensions and we could leverage the information of the TRS system. What did I do, Miss Tammy, today? You tell me, or tell me if I didn't do it. I leveraged the TRS system to tell that teacher the possibilities of her numbers with the opportunity to do business, because what we do is we sell the people who are uninformed. The teacher is a smart person. She's been doing it for 24 years, but she needed the information that I collected 2 years ago to possibly make a better financial decision. Gabe Gonzalez built the organization on the idea that he did not have enough financial understanding to position how he made a individual decision about his solutions. He said, so I'm going to build the education and retirement group under the umbrella of the platform. Let me give you guys a dream and a vision. This is the place that you can build a dream and vision. If you can come up with a credible way to position yourself on the platform, they'll hear you out and they say, you know what? David, if you want to open up a hospitality version and be able to create a version of business that allows that, do so, but do it in a sense of activity. As you do the activity, what I figured out was like, hey, I love teachers. My wife is an administrator. I like the idea of talking to teachers. My daughter was a teacher. So I fell in love with ERG. Not that ERG is better than or less than. It's just that was what I fell in love with. If you fall in love with small business, if you want to help XYZ, if you want to help churches, you do so. Then you fly into Arkansas like Princess Map says, hey, I got a vision where I can get connected because I learned how this works through this system. I can go help people become better educated about their finances, and can get my business partner to come with me and meet with me together, and we work together. See what Kim Howard did the other day, say, hey, David Upton, come on, come check it out. Hey, Marlena, come help me build this vision. Hey, Gabriella, come help me build this vision. If you understand vision and dreams, now what you're doing is this is just a byproduct of the vision and dream. This is how you fund yourself. You fund the idea that, hey, I'm going to give you an IUL because you need it. And you need to grow an annuity over here. You might need some term protection. You might need to understand. And that was the positioning. The whole idea was that David Upton or anybody who else is on the line, I want to make sure I don't just name anybody. I love David. That's my best friend, but I don't want to disrespect the rest of you guys. I tell you, hey, Miss Coney, this got built so you don't have to buy any leads. You don't got to do no call calling. You don't got to do no door knocking. Miss Betty Hall, the reason why she was able to set up the table in South Carolina, she has a dream and vision of becoming one of the largest business directors in the state of South Carolina. She can go set up the table, and she does the work today to talk to people so she can build a vision. You guys have an opportunity to build the largest dream and vision, but we're teaching it to you day to day. And if you show up, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just using as my language, but I thought I would share this because I told people the other day, what we were really saying is, hey, you come on as a training associate, right, Miss Howard? You come on as a training associate. If you understand how to work with somebody and do joint work and do understanding and show up at the meetings, you can one day become an associate. If you become an associate, you'll become a field director, Mr. Ridley, right? We're working on field director, business director. Hans said, yep, give me some training associate, give me some associate, give me some director, and now I'm a business director. What Kim Howard said, she said, okay, I'm going to be a business director, but I can grow teams. While I work at work sometimes, because of the income that can be generated through my team, I can now get a check every once in a while, but every once in a while, don't forget I can write. She says, don't forget I can write, right, Miss Howard? I can write. I can do $14,400 in the month of April, whatever month that was, because you have an opportunity to be a producer and a builder at the same time. And if you build correctly, yeah, now it says $342,000. The way you're going to work that $342 is because you got to work it. That's the dream and the vision. This is the dream. The dream for Hans is saying, listen, guys, the dream for Miss Marlena Smith, the dream for Princess Map is, the dream for Suni Samad was like, listen, if I do this well personally, And I can position more people to come on board, 3, 3, and 8. I build my teams. I build my association. I teach them how to fund their business every month by 8,000 points. I can now one day say, hey, David, we're going to teach you how to become a business director. And do you know why Hans does it? He can guarantee the idea that even if you didn't like me for the rest of my life, I don't believe that's true, because we're going to be best friends. We're going to be best friends. I speak it into the vision and dreams of belief that the people that I'm going to do business, Mr. Ridley, we're going to be best friends. If I come and do it right, and I can teach Mr. Ridley how to produce $1 million worth of business in his system every year, or we can get it monthly, Hans can make $140,000 per month. How many of you guys would be excited if you made $140,000 per month just for being David Upton's business partner? Because you said, hey, David, let's build a dream. Let's go associate to director to business director. But Hans has got to show up. Kim Howard's got to show up. You got to show up too. See, when you become business director, it can't be empty, because you're not going to be able to collect any money if there's nobody on your team. You're not going to be able to make 14% of the vision of what's possible or there's no $140,000 if there's no other business director. The dream and vision is to build it. But you do the work today because there's a possibility of making $2 million per year. Let's talk money. I'm not telling you I love money, but I don't have anything against it. I don't have anything against it. Costs money to get on planes. It costs money to take care of kids. It costs money to keep your promises. It costs money to make sure that you can do it. So if you can do $2 million of it in a season because you built a framework of relationships, you built a framework of saying, hey, listen, David, I'm going to teach you how to become a business director so I can make 14%. I'm going to teach one of your future business partners how to become a business director. I make 6%. I will teach one of their future business partners on how to make 4%, and I'll do it again and again and again. And the compensation got built. But how do we do it? We walk into schools sometimes. We walk into businesses. We walk into our relationships. We do our 100-person list. We organize, because there's opportunity all over the place. But here's the piece that you want to understand that I'll close with so that you guys can share your thoughts. It's a timing thing. It's a timing thing. If you spend the time loving on people, helping people, answering their questions, you get a chance to make money. If you do it well enough, you'll make more money. If you can help David Uptons in the world, you'll make more money. If Miss Kim Howard helps Marlena Smith, she makes more money. And I want you guys to understand the language of money is not just, it's for preparedness. There's a timing in the future that I don't know how this is going to work. I didn't know I was going to get sick, everybody. I didn't even care to get sick, but I did. Okay, thank God I was able to recover. And now I have a timing period that I got to leverage the opportunity to build one of the largest agencies. Why? If I can do this well enough, do you know what happens to me? I will make $140,000 18 times. Do the math. 140. Let's talk money today. Let's talk a little money. Let's talk a little bit. Don't be afraid about money. I want you guys to be excited about it. 140 a month, right? Times 18 means that I'm going to make an average of $2.5 million per month. 2.5 million times 12 means that I'm going to make $30 million. Do you know why it's possible? Brad Pham had a dream and vision, and he made $30 million too. It's not impossible. He's only showing you what he did. It's a timing thing. You got to do the work. You got to be okay with the problems, the challenges, the circumstances, the scenarios. You're going to win sometimes. You're going to lose sometimes, Miss Tammy. If you're okay with the losses, you'll get the wins, because that's how the formula works. How many times I don't like talking about my Knicks. I'm a little bit afraid to talk about it, but they had to do the work. They had to bring in the right players on the team for them to get to the NBA championship. I'm praying that they win. They're doing the work. But you know what? I'm not even going to say that. But the whole thing is that, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The California team knows it. They got the Golden State Warriors been running around for the last 6, 7 years just winning championships. It's our turn over here in the East.
Let's go.
You guys think I'm
Let's go.
crazy, but I'm just telling you the truth. I just love this thing because I'm telling you it's timing. It's a timing thing. Hey, Mr. Taylor, it's a timing thing. Hey, Mr. Ridley, it's a timing thing. Hey, who's here? Miss Wilhelmina, it's a timing thing. Miss Brittany, it's your time. You came here to build a vision and a purpose. There was a dream that you had when you sat down with your cousin, Miss Kimberly Howard, that says, hey, I can help you build the dream and vision that you have. If you come and work with me together, we're going to position ourselves. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to open up the call to the rest of you guys because you know I can preach, I can talk it, I love it. This is what I'm going to do for the next 3 years. I'm going to Africa no matter what. I'm going.
I'm gonna
That's the
I'm
dream
gonna
and
be
the
right there,
vision. That's the whole idea. We
right
want
there
to
with
have
you, bro.
fun. We're gonna fly in. Mr. Ridley's gonna call me one day. Hey, you coming in, brother? And I'm like, what's happening? He said, no, I'm just inviting you to dinner. All right, no problem. I'll be on the flight tomorrow. Me and my wife will be hanging out with you tomorrow. We're building a dream and a vision.
No,
You think I want to be behind this Zoom the rest of my life? No. We're
no.
building a dream and vision, but I got to do the Zoom work for the next 5 years. So that when I want to get off the Zoom and I want to get on a plane and go hang out with Mr. Ridley, and we say, hey, listen, let's go to Broken Bow together. We're going to spend the weekend together. You know what Brad did a couple months ago? He just gave us a dream and a vision. When you go to convention, dreams and visions are being fulfilled. His dream and vision, because he's already fulfilled it. His stomach is full. He's operating in overflow. He's like, yo, come get some. Me and my wife can't spend it all. Miss Mary Grace, I can't spend it all. I'll come to your town and help you. That's what overflow means. I'm flying in, no problem, David. I'm coming. I'm operating out of overflow. But you got to be crazy enough to build a dream and vision. And then you don't have to be crazy. I don't want to go to no hospital. I'm just saying that you got to love it enough to do the work today, not to be crazy and put in a jacket. I'm not going in any jackets. I'm going to get a chance to spend money. I'm going to get a chance to love on my family. I'm going to get a chance to be with my wife. I'm going to get a chance to be with my children. That's the dream and the vision we're building. This is what this mastermind is. We're dreaming and we're visioning what the possibilities are. All right, call is open. Anybody else that got some feedback, wins,
Mr. Hans,
details? Go ahead, sir.
Mr.
Go ahead,
Hans,
sir.
let me in, man. So listen, so beautiful. Love what you did this morning. It's funny that you put that slide up on the timing of OIC because in 2018, when Brad was making this company, I was going through a major life shift. You know, I was getting a divorce after 30 years of marriage, you know, and all the things that come on with that. But when you put that up there this morning, as Suni likes to say, a clue. I had a light bulb moment. So with the timing, even though I didn't know it at the time, God was already positioning me to be here. Okay. So that's all I want to say to everybody that's here. You're not here, you know, by chance. You know, like Mr. Hans and Mr. Suni always says, you know, we're here for a reason. We got here for a reason. My reason is my big why is because I've had all of these other successes throughout my whole life up to 66 years, but at the same time I never actualized and got to the top of where I wanted to be, helping people and making the amount of money that I wanted to make, you know, at the same time. So I know why I'm here. That just crystallized it for me, that 2018, Mr. Hans. And you know, thank you for that. I appreciate that this morning.
Right, let's go. Thank you, Mr. Ridley. Anybody else? Anybody? Don't be afraid, guys. This is Dream and Vision Day. Dream and Vision. Anybody else? Please don't let this call be quiet at all. That's my vision. Who else we got? I think Mr. Jones, is that you? Go ahead, sir. The mic is open, sir. Go ahead, sir. I see your hand raising, or is that you raising your hand, sir?
Yeah, I'll jump on.
Go ahead, Mr. Upton, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, this whole week and earlier, was it Wednesday? When we were talking about just consistency and consistency of activity, the intention. And there was that message that you said, Hans, about building that consistency and not only building an external type of confidence, but an internal confidence that in reality is what feeds that external confidence. Um, and you and I spoke a little bit yesterday. But the previous week, I had to kind of laugh at myself because I started this social media campaign. It's literally been today. It's going to be the eighth day. Um, and I was getting discouraged because, I hadn't, nothing had materialized yet. And then I had to take a step back and realize I've only been doing this for a week, you know, and my mind is just, I know it's a fallacy, but even so, it's built that I want to see like I want to be good at everything I, I embark on immediately. And I want to see, the returns of my labors immediately. And that's just not how things work. So I've had to learn to be more patient, and just, as Hans is saying this morning, appreciate the work almost for the work's sake. Have faith in the process. Um, but even on a day when you're not seeing a harvest, continue to do the work. There's always something to be doing, even when we're not seeing a win in that exact moment, right? To make sure that we're seeing a win down the road. And again, nothing has, uh, I haven't written any business yet, but I started. So a few weeks ago, I joined the Chamber of Commerce here in Lodi, and I've been fairly active within it so far. Just attending small business mixers and actually going and spending time in the office space and kind of getting to know people. Lodi is a very small town. Um, and this week I had started just sort of almost as practice to get used to being on the phone again. I started calling, there are a lot of wineries in the area because we grow a lot of wine grapes here. Uh, so I started looking through the member directory and specifically calling wineries and sort of using this two-pronged approach to start a conversation, which was, can I talk to an HR or a benefits administrator? Also, I've got this idea for a workshop series that I'm developing, and I'd like to talk to an events coordinator, if you have one of those. Um, and so yesterday, I actually went out and had my first business meeting. Previously when I was at New York Life, I had plenty of uh, client meetings, individual client meetings, and took on a few clients, but I'd never had a business meeting before. Um, and so I kind of just jumped in the deep end. I feel like I fumbled it a little bit. There was one point where he wanted a lot of details about cost, and I just didn't have those answers. So, I was a bit nervous, and I felt the conversation steering off into the weeds. But then I pulled it back and was like, "Look, I just don't have those answers. I am new on this platform. I'm gonna have to go back, to my team and to the people that I'm being mentored by, and come back to you." But anyway, my point is, that was, again, even though nothing has materialized, that was a win for me. Just getting that call back, and the gentleman actually told me on the way out. You'll appreciate this, Hans. I don't think I mentioned this, but he's from Brooklyn, even though his sons are living out here. So
Let's get it.
he's an
Let's
East.
get it.
Yeah, he's an East. He was very East Coast. We had a 30-minute meeting, and at the end of 30 minutes, he had to move on because he had other things to do. But as we were leaving, he told me, even though, and maybe he didn't feel that the conversation got off into the weeds, but that's a feeling that I had. But as we were leaving, he vocalized that the reason he was interested in meeting with me and interested in potentially doing business with me is simply because I called him, because I took that initiative to reach out to him. And that's, he wanted to let me know that that's just the type of person that he likes to work with. So even, again, even if I don't want to take up too much more time, but even if nothing happens with this gentleman and his business, uh, getting the practice, getting the reps in, uh, that small win of having him call me back, that sort of lets me know to continue fishing, as it were.
And I just
You
wanted
know,
to encourage you by telling you that you're 100% correct because, guys, I did not know what an annuity was. I knew what an annuity was, but I did not know how to sell it. I didn't, David. I'm just telling you, I'm being transparent. I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't. The first time I got an annuity form, I had to call Gabe Gonzalez, and I was like, what is this 13-page hot mess? But he was, and then one day, Mr. Simon said, it's just paperwork. And so the fees and expenses, it's okay. I used to tell people, hey, listen, um, I let me check with one of my business partners and I'll confirm the exact details. I did it to David last night. I didn't really know the true answer. I just said, hey, let me check. I'm gonna call NLG and just verify. I know that there's not certain fees tied to it, but I said, just so I don't make it up to David. And David doesn't view me as a liar in the future. I say, hey, no problem. I believe it's like this, but let me verify the same. I'm gonna pass you to McCall. It looks like Mr. Really was, but I want to say, David, that that's how it works. Means that the guy was waiting for you, but the only way he can talk to you is if you reach out to him. The only way teachers did business with me is because I showed up at an event. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know that I didn't know what a 403B was. I had no idea that a 403B even existed, David. I didn't know what a 457 is, but I went into the back office and I literally pulled up and read the same details. And I said, and I called Gabe Gonzalez and I called SUNY. Hey, I didn't know what go high level was. I called
mm.
Kim Howard and said, hey, Kim, how does that work?
I think
I
for
mean,
me too, what I went into the meeting wanting to go through this process of like discovery. I was all
mhm.
ready to do an FNA. And then again, like referencing his East Coast personality, he wanted a 401k, and even then I, I was trying to I was trying to generalize it and talk about other just retirement accounts in general. And he almost, at one point, I feel like he was about to get angry with me. He's like, I want a 401k, and then so I was like, all right, let's stop with the rest of this process that I wanted to do, and let's get you that 401k.
Matter
That's
of
the only
fact,
other
and
thing I wanted to add.
I'm gonna pass the call to Mr. Ridley, but Mr. Ridley, before I pass the call to you, what I'm saying to David and the rest of you guys is when people start asking me questions now, I answer their question. Okay, great. Let me look at the 401k. We do actually have an option here on the platform where we could establish it. Let's get some information. It doesn't mean that it's going to be right for you. It just means that I'm going to answer your question because you won't hear me until I answer the question. When we were talking to Miss Tammy today, the lady, she wanted to talk about her business. She wanted to understand her pension. So if you answer the pension question, what really happens is now she says, after I answered her pension question thoroughly, now you don't need to lie. You don't need to say, hey, if you don't know the answer, you go get the answer. And you say, hey, now that I knew the answer, I was like, let's go through your pension. Let's give you the details. I even said to her, David, I don't even think a lump sum of the idea. She says, you know what? I would like to know the lump sum idea because I'm actually opening a business. I said, oh, well, that makes sense. I actually agree with you. Okay, well, let me show you how the lump sum works in your favor. As soon as we did that, David, she's like, okay, it's clear. Now I had permission to ask for her 403B. Now I have permission to ask for her life insurance. Now I have permission to understand the properties that she owned. I'm not going to tell her business anymore, but you get my point. Mr. Ridley, let me make sure I pass the call because I'll turn into a preacher. Go ahead, sir. But David, you're on the right track. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So David, I want to say three things. I've been on the platform a long time with Mr. Suni Samad and Mr. Hans when it was pretty much just us. So the first thing is what Mr. Suni always says, Mr. Hans always says, this is delayed gratification, man. If you think you're going to jump out here and just kill it right off the bat, you might. But then it's going to do this, and it's inevitably going to come right back down the ground. I jumped out on the platform, Mr. Hans will tell you, I jumped on LinkedIn. I had like 9 people jump on my team right away. I've got 9 people on my team right now. I've got none of them working. Mr. Hans will tell you that. We had a lady come in, Miss Loretta. She killed it. And she stayed about a month, totally just went off and just did her own thing, never came back to the platform. So what I'm saying is that it's going to be highs and lows. The best thing that you can do is what you're doing now. Go out, and when there's nothing going on, nothing working for you, go out and do something and fail fast, because you're going to learn from that. But when you went in to talk to this gentleman, your first thing is, you said it yourself. You went in to discover. So you go in and want to talk to him and make a friend and have a good showing yourself as a business person. Then after that, the next thing you want to do is make another meeting for the leverage. Brian Swisher, that's the guy you want to pull into the next meeting. So those two things. The other thing I wanted to say is that you're on the right track. You're doing all the right things, but you just gotta keep that activity going, man. Because I've been up and down, up and down, up and down. Me and Mr. Hans, we closed a guy $400,000 rollover, and it was like 19K, right, Mr. Hans? 19K and some change. And hey, everything went perfect until it didn't. Me and Mr. Hans will tell you that story one day. But ended up somebody NLG took it from us. But so this business is a lot of learning, a lot of intestinal fortitude, and you're going to get that. You're going to see where your weaknesses are and your strong points and stuff like that. But the biggest thing that you're doing is that you're going out and you're actively seeking to do something every day. So I just want to pass that on, because a lot of you guys don't know me because I'm real quiet sometimes. But those that know me know that I'm not. Let me put it that way. So I'll be here if you guys need any information or anything like that. But good stuff.
Thank you, Mr. I'm gonna pass the call to Miss Howard. I see her hand raised. Miss Howard, I'm all ears, and I'll add some value towards the end. But I'm gonna pass the call to my equity partner. So go ahead,
Oh,
Miss Howard.
thank you, Hans. Just listening to David, and sometimes the process feels slow because God is building more than the outcome. He's really building you. And Hans broke, you doing the presentation, that brought me back because that was a presentation that I saw. But, there's people here that are not here anymore, and it's okay. Like, Mr. Ridley says, hey, he recruited like 9 people, but they're no longer here. It really takes a special person to this business it's not easy, but it will help you grow along the way, like mentally, spiritually, especially on this team, self-development. That's why it's so important. Reading books, right? That's why we have like a book of the month, because not only we're developing our business, we're developing ourselves. Because when those setbacks come, how do we handle it? Because they are gonna come. We cannot, we're running a business, everything's all good, like Mr. Ridley says, but when you get that $19,000 chargeback, how are you going to respond? Are you going to quit? Or are you going to keep going? That's why I commend Mr. Ridley for still being here, because I know that's harsh. I never had that big chargeback, but in this business, you have to prepare yourself for these things. And it's okay, right? It's okay to have setbacks, because if you're just consistent, you're disciplined in what you do every single day, it wouldn't even matter like if people close their policies or not. That's why I love this system, because we have different niches to fill our pipeline. We're just giving you one, saying, hey, education space. That education space has helped me go out into the community. I'm an introvert. I hate talking to people. And I'm like, man, I was with a business partner yesterday. We went to a community event. It was like a leadership event. And then I told her I wouldn't have gone to these type of things before, because I was so stuck in a space when everything was Zoom, and all I did was cold call and buy leads. It takes time to build these partnerships outside, but they're going to be fruitful because as you're doing, Mr. David, like you're going out there and speaking to people, you're doing the right thing. So don't get discouraged. Um, because we're here just building relationship, and we're here to exercise our skills, like go to these networking events. Like, I'm so proud of Monica. She's not on the call, but she was also like an introvert, but now she's going and networking with people. That's how she got her new recruit in the team, is because of these network events. But people like to do business with people that they can actually see and trust, right? So when I saw the education space and like, hey, I used to buy teacher leads, and they were $60 a piece. But when they showed me the ERG Academy, how you could just walk into a school and create these opportunities, I'm like, man, okay, all you got to do is go give a goodie bag. But why can't we do that in other places? And that's what helped me get into the churches. So now we have a standing class at my church. Um, and we actually do 3 classes for them: Medicare class, Money Matters class, and $1 Million Baby class. And now we're in their roster, and we do that every quarter. So trust the process, right? Every delay, every setback, right? And small win is preparing you for the next level. So, what feels like uncertain, because this business will cause a lot of uncertainty. Like, dang, should I get I have a lot of people on the team that does this full time too, but it's like, should I get a full-time job? Like, um, but hey, this business will definitely bless you tenfold if you continue to trust the process, continue to stay consistent, right? And we talked about yesterday was, being a man of your word, right? Being a person that is going to do it. So I mean, I'm just looking at that presentation. Half of the people that brought, is gone, but it's okay. They're supposed to probably not be here, right? Because we're building something greater. So just wanted to share that.
And guys, what's beautiful about what Miss Howard just
Amen.
shared, and even what Mr. Ridley just shared with you guys, she said something that I want to help correlate the truth of what they both just said. That 19K cost me my equity partnership, and it cost me my 50K ring last year. I had one choice. Ask Miss Mary Grace and Mr. Samad. For 3 or 4 days, I was kind of brewing in the mental space of like, what the, I won't tell you what the other part I say. I wasn't Jesus driven that day, but I had a choice. Do you know what
Me
helped me?
neither.
Miss Mary Grace called me and says, "Welcome to the business." That's what she said to me. She said, "Welcome to the business." It's just Miss Kim Howard said it's part of the game. Mr. Ridley said, "I'm not quitting." Matter of fact, it made us more aggressive. It changed the way that I did business. It was like, all right, well, you know what? We're in the big boy leagues. We get over it. And I've lost deals on the outside before. I've taken hits. So I was like, oh, you know how I got over? I was like, oh well, it's nothing. You God prepared you for 19K because you lost 1.2 before. So get over it. Get over it. That's what I had to tell myself. But I had my mentorship. Miss Howard said, thank God for development and mentorship. Mr. Ridley said, thank God for development and mentorship. It was like, hey, brother, I get it. You can be pissed or you can come and win with us. I called him that Friday about 4 days and I got really quiet. I was like, Brooklyn was in me. The devil was sitting on me, all of it. And I was like, what the? But I was like, get over it. God was like, do you remember the 1.2? Like, what's your issue? Like, come on. Like, get over it. But I had mentorship that says, welcome to the business. She wasn't being mean. She just says, hey, you're not the first one to experience it. You can't manage 10 plus million dollars without losing 19. You can't build a team of people if you don't know how it's going to feel like to lose them. You can't build 18 agencies without taking a loss. It's a matter of fact, you cannot go to an NBA championship without potentially taking a loss. Somebody goes home after the 7 games and they got to go rebuild. And that's what, but the teams that decide to rebuild and move the ball, they just say, okay, I'll be back. I, that's what you got to say to yourself. You say, I'll be back. Yes, the person did not show up on the appointment. Ask Miss Tammy. We were talking about, there was a lady, I was like, I get it. She was probably thinking I'm crazy. I'm like, oh, Miss Tammy, you'll be there one day because you're going to be like, I get it. Next, let me call the next person. When our business partners don't sign the form, we're literally like, okay, I get it. You weren't built for it yet. You're not ready. I get it. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I still love you. It's just that I'm building something great here. Miss Kim Howard said it best. Hey, you can't build legacy without taking a loss. Joseph spent 2 years in prison. 2 years in prison, but he still got the Pharaoh's ability. And all that means is for the non-biblical people, he unfortunately was in a space where he was not being able to leverage his talent at the highest. And then one day his talent got called to the highest version of the platform. David and everybody else that you're doing today, Miss Howard said it the best. Mr. Ridley said it the best. All you're really doing is you're developing your mental muscles. You're developing your strength. Then you get on planes again. You show up. Guess what, guys? When I went to DC the first time, I only closed 2 deals. I'm still showing up to DC again. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you're really going to find yourself that one day, I promised you guys, I already promised myself, I'm not even promising you. I'm going to make so much money that some of you guys are going to be mad at me. And I get it. But I don't want you to be mad. I want you to join us and understand that you're developing, you're increasing the mental muscle, you're positioning yourself for the realities to come. Because listen, guys, any of you guys who've made 6 figures, you know it's not easy. Ask Miss Howard. She got to show up here. She got to talk to this person. She still got to manage people. Come on. I just want you guys to understand we're winners here. If we're going to be the NBA championship reality, we're going to have 5, 6, 7 rings here. That's what we're building. We're building like 5, 6, 7 ring championship. And then some other team, 10 years from now might come in, pop up, and be like, yeah, we did it already. Just keep paying us. We're okay with it. Listen, I want some of you guys to be so successful. I'll close with this if there's anybody else that has, I don't know if any other leader. How do I make $2 million if David is not successful? Miss Howard, tell me how I make $2 million if Miss Marlene is not successful. Can anybody tell me how you're going to be successful if that's the case? Yes, you can go make $2 million anywhere else. You can. But even when you get there, you can. When you get there, you still have to do that work. All I decided to do, and all I believe Miss Howard decided, all Mr. Ridley said, they said, hey, I'm going to do the work here. I can't afford to quit. I can't afford to stop. I can't afford to lose it. I already put too much time into it. So what of the 19K? Yeah, we'll go get another 19K. And that's what we did. That's what my 50K watch represented. Go get more money. Stop complaining about the money you lost and go get more of it. That's all I'm saying. I want this thing like, nobody's business, but we're going to do it together. I don't know if there's any closing thoughts from another leader. I got to jump on another call, but I want you guys to have the happiest Friday. Miss Howard, you got anything for these folks to close up, or any other leader that's on the call? Miss Betty, anybody? So we can wrap up. I just want to make sure we're good.
I just wanted to, I put something in the chat, and Galatians 6:9 stood out while we were talking today. As do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you do not give up. So I just want to encourage you guys, do not give up. we're all here together. We're on a winning team, and we're here to uplift every single person that continues to trust the process and the journey with us. So happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'll see you guys on Monday. We'll see you guys on some of the weekend events. Pray for us as we travel. And you guys go have fun with your families. Go make more money. Miss Howard, thank you for closing the call. Mr. Ridley, thank you. Mr. Upton,
So
thank
let's
you.
go.
And thank you, all of you who participated today. Love you, respect you, want it more than you understand for you. We're going to make it happen. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Thank you.